Hi, welcome along to me, Trevor. It's a long time we haven't done a follow-up show, which I promised you, and we're doing about 7-inch vinyl today. Yes, 7-inch vinyl. How much they're worth, how much was pressed around the world. Can't give you an approximate figure, and also the sentimental values of it, if there is anything, and the monetary values of it as well. Anyway, we kick off now with talking about 7 inches. Some 7 inches came derived from tapes back in the day, and when we used to have turntables, which we used to play on when we used to be doing sound systems. A lot of us will not realize what a 7-inch is, but this is what a 7-inch looks like. Basically, it's smaller than an average album, smaller than, because 12 inches and albums are the same size. If you're new to this game and technology is throwing you off, if you're a younger person, you'll be used to using memory sticks, even CDs. The older ones will go back, remember using DAT machines, also mini disc. Also, the beginning of everything was tapes. So when we look into it, because I was in a sound system, we had a thing called a turntable, which you could then put this particular 7-inch recording on. And 7 inches was mainly made for, we used to have the top 10. They still do have it on Capital Radio here in the UK. And also in the US, they do top 10 tracks, and you have a number one, but they do it as digital downloads. But back in the days, it was based on a 7-inch single that you could go into Woolworth and buy from our stores over there. I understand they've got Woolworths in America and some around the world, which have now sadly been closed down here in the UK. But let's get to it anyway. 7 inches were made just for purposes of charting, seeing how things are going on. So if someone made an album with more than one track, they would put out a 7-inch first, then after a 7-inch, the album would come. But if you go way back, because I don't really want to get it complicated, we would have a 7-inch track with 4 different tracks on there, like an EP, right? Now, at the end of the day, that 7-inch track with 4 different tracks on there would have to be played on a special turntable, which play 78s. Now, 78 was a different speed from 45 and 33, but that's going way back into it now. A 78 would play that track at a proper length where you could understand it. Now, if you got to understand what a 78 is, it's the speed of a record, but it was shrunk there on little strips around the vinyl, and them little strips was led into another track like an album. Now, modern day people would, older people remember there was a show called Pinky and Perky. Now, when they go, what is he talking about, Pinky and Perky? When you take that particular like laughing gas, or you take a balloon, the helium, your voice then goes funny. That's what we used to call Pinky and Perky. So, but 78 would rectify that track to its proper state, that you could hear the singing properly, because they would squash all these little migraines of on the vinyl, that the needle could pick up that particular signal, because it was analog, it was digital. Analog is good for the ears. Digital is more higher frequency. Right. Now, since we've got that about 7 inches, let's go on. Now, 7 inches were produced a long time ago. And when I mean long, it was back in the early 80s. No, sorry, the 60s and the 50s, which 7 inches were coming out on. Now, at the end of the day, They were mass produced at the time around the world because everywhere was doing it. They were charting stuff, and that was the only way to play music. When things got bad after the war or whatever, um, you know, people weren't, it was people like my generation and my mother's generation which were still purchasing these 7 inches. Now, at the end of the day, what was happening with these particular 7 inches were that really and truly people weren't collecting them back in the days. They would play it a bit and chuck them away because that song will become unpopular. They wouldn't save it, you know, and go, you know, if they're moving house, the last thing you're thinking about moving is your records. You just say, chuck them in the bin. So years upon years now, these 7 inches are shrunk. Now, if you think about the world, yep, the world, there's trillions of people on this planet. And now that these 7 inches are being thrown away, they're worth money. Queen, who done a song called Bohemian Rhapsody, printed 194 copies of a pink Bohemian Rhapsody 7-inch. That now is worth over between £3,000 to £5,000. Now, imagine if you chuck that away. There was a limited amount of press on it. So everything has a monetary value if you look into it. So if you are sitting on it, and most West Indians, Africans and English, I would say most West Indians are still sitting on a load of 7 inches. Reggae, soul, whatever. In America, they sit on a lot of the soul kind of things. But in England, we've got a lot of reggae, which our parents, West Indian ancestry, used to buy. They are worth money. Labels to look out for when it comes to reggae would be Studio One, Treasure Isle, Coxsone, Joe Gibbs. Those labels are worth money, right? And also Channel One. But Channel One made a lot of 12 inches back in the day, but they had a limited amount of 7s. Then Trojan flooded the market with 7s, so you can always find in the UK 7s, but that still does not mean that that has no monetary value. It still does, because at the end of the day, as I said before, they stop printing, they stop pressing, it's all over, it's done, right? Then when you come to America, you're talking like Capitol Records, Motown Records, you're talking about Atlantic Records, you're talking about Warner Brother Records. The list is endless in America because there was so much companies back in the day doing a lot of 7 inches. So, you know, you might think to yourself, well, I've got Aretha Franklin, respect. She's now passed away, so that 7-inch should be worth a lot of money. No, it's not, because that was repressed in the abundance. But if you, you've got to sort out, it's like you go for a sieve. You sift through which is monetary, you sift through which is not monetary. It's kind of still monetary, so don't get me wrong. If you have got Aretha Franklin respect, it will be worth money, right? But a repress is not worth money. It's not worth a lot of money. The original press, as I showed you before, was watch my show before. If you want to go back to there, you'll see a P, a little P sign, and that means first press with the date underneath it. You will not see that P sign once it's removed while it's being repressed. It will say pressed back in 1969 and 1971. It'll have further around. So that's a repress. It is still have value, but the original holds more value. So don't get disheartened going, oh, what is he talking about? He's talking about, oh, 1 minute's worth, next minute's not. It depends what it is. Like anything else, you know, the original is always worth money. Condition. Before I turned around and we was doing about artistry on 12-inch covers, right? This is about 7 inches. Now, a lot of them are scratched, not in very good condition. So don't think you're going to hand somebody a record which they cannot play. It's totally useless because it'll be scratched up. But if you're going to sell it to a dealer, that dealer's got to take time to repair the scratches, clean it, and then resell it. A young lady called me about, she had a record collection, and her record collection, she said that the guy offered her £200. I turned around to her and said, if it has no sentimental value to you, and if you can hold off and you think you can get more by selling each track individually, then go ahead and do it. If not, then sell it. Sell it. And the reason why I say sell it is because at the end of the day, you'll be making £200 that could go towards, you know, electric, food, whatever you want, right? But then do not weep when he's made £3,000 or maybe £1,000 off of one of your tracks, because maybe he's putting the work. So what I suggest to you people is that you need to put in the work. A lot of people call me and go, oh, I want to sell this, I want to do this, I want to do that. No, at the end of the day, this is what you need to do. You need to use your own eyes, go on Google, search anywhere you want to go, and search and say, you know, I've got old, you can go on there, type in old reggae music, what's the value, and they will bring you to like places like Discos and other sites which are relevant to that particular genre of music, or to wherever you get your Motown or whatever from. Especially if you got you know, special things, you can turn around and say, well, I've got that, I think this is going to be special. But that's down to you. If you're not in the know-how, you don't want to get into it, you want to sell these sevens, sell them. You know, there's always buyers to buy. It's a buyer's market at this present moment in time. Now, I'm not going to turn around to people and say, don't get rid of things. If it is sentimental value to you and you still want to get rid of it, there's certain tools that you can use, which is shown there, that can convert your 7-inch into WAV form, and then you can put it onto your computer or your laptop and can save it back on there. So you can still have your favorite music, but in a different form, still sounding analog as well. So there's a lot for you to think about of when you're selling 7 inches. 7 inches can make you a lot of money, or they can make you the minimum amount of money. But this is the way we got to look on things. Let's say I bought that 7-inch back in the day for 50p, and someone's offered me £1.50. £1.50, you've got your 50p back, and you've got £1 on top. People say, £1, what do I need with £1? Every pound adds up. In Jamaica, they say, there's a saying said, every mickle makes a muscle. Now, that means albums, but they haven't got 7s. Now, some of the 7s came, as you can see, with the hole knocked out of them. So when the hole was knocked out of them, you needed a spindle to put in, which is a metal spindle, which is showing right there now, so that the record could play on the turntable. So there's a lot of collectors now, a lot of small entrepreneurs which are collecting. So you might sell to a person who goes around and collect records, but on top of that, around the world, Germany, Japan, China, and even in America, some places, and Canada, people are collecting. People are now collecting. And now if you get to them, and they've got a turntable, they will pay you big money for 1 7-inch, depending what the condition is. Another thing, do not lie to people and put it on eBay, because you will fracture your eBay account. The moment you turn around and go, yeah, this is in good condition and all that, that person will receive your goods and then return it back to you because you've lied to them and said it's in good condition. They will then put photos on there saying, this is, keep away from this person because they're scamming me. Look what they sent me. It's really dirty. I couldn't even play it. When you sell stuff on eBay, always, honesty is the best policy. It's used. It's old. Right? If you turn around, you take a photograph of the condition what it's in before you sell that product on. And that's to anyone. Even forget eBay, forget anything. That is to anybody, so that they cannot turn around to you and tarnish your name. Because the worst thing in this game is to get your name tarnished, because people run for you, run away like the Flash. You're not going to see them again. And you're not going to make no money, but you're in there to make money. So even pop 7 inches, jazz 7 inches, even old jukebox 7 inches, they've got a small hole in the side where they used to clip to the jukebox. They're worth money. They're not worth an extreme amount of money, but there's still monetary value there. So all I can say to everybody in this particular YouTube part of my show, we will be readdressing it with, I'll show you some of the stuff which I've got in my collection which are worth money, and what people be willing to pay top notch for it. So we're going to be looking on that very soon, maybe in a couple of months' time. So tune in. If you have subscribed, keep subscribing, because you're going to miss out. And when it does happen, you're going to say, okay, this, that, and the next thing. I'll be giving you a bit more details because we're just skimping along the surface. The same thing I've done with covers. I'm going to do another show on that to show you what particular covers are worth money from iconic, which they were photographed, or if it was artwork, that what people want, and albums which are worth money, 12 inches which are worth money, right? But we need to find, you need to find that niche market. Once you have, you will make money, because the world is a big place, as I keep saying, and everywhere around the world, they have people turning around, looking for old stuff. There's always someone looking for something which is old, retro, or antique. At this present moment, the retro end of history is winning. Anything retro is now the new buyable market. So, you know, we've got to look into it. But we'll be looking more into this in future shows to come. But now we've come into spring, and spring heading into summer. On my particular channel, DJ Trevor C from the family, the blues parties will be halted for a moment, because I've got so much tapes here which I've got to go through and dig out all of these parties and what was happening, and it is taking a long time. And so that will come back in the winter, when hopefully things will go back to normal. If it doesn't, then you're indoors. You can always take comfort in clicking on the blues show. We will have a new show called Sisters of Soul, which is going to be playing soul music, but we will not be playing the same soul music like Ain't No Stopping Us Now and Candies and all that. Forget that. That's through the window. We're going to be playing soul music where we used to go to crackers, underground clubs, places where we used to go to and listen to serious, which I call serious soul music. Don't be disheartened, because some of them soul music is going to be, you know, the same, you know, different things. Also, we've got Sisters of Soul. We've got Remix Show, and on top of the Remix Show, we have we'll be doing the remix show. We counting them because I've got loads of remixes, so we'll be doing that. Also, we'll be doing some old reggae music like the In Crowd, some stuff of John Holt. So it's not going to be the usual middle of the run of reggae. It's going to be different reggae. Also the soulful house mixes. Yep, we're back with the soulful house mixes for the summer, so you can plug it in your car wherever you're going and take in that spiritual, soulful, contemporary vibe. I've already dropped a soulful mix on there, just a warm-up mix to just give you tangle to make you feel ready for the future of soulful mixes. Also, the last but not least, we will be still reviewing old music, but especially new releases, because I've got some new releases coming out as well, which I've been working in the studios, and also some new remixes. And Everton from Light the World, he's got some new remixes, and also Digo Woods, he's got new remixes. Paul Wilson got new remixes and also new material. So we're going to be reviewing some of them stuff as well, because they'll be on the market. But we need your help. We need your help to turn around and say yay, nay. That's all it is. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. But we do need, and I keep on telling people, a lot of people going, yeah, I'm loving this, it's all great, it's all that. Yeah, it's all great, it's all good. And I do thank the people who's subscribed to the channel as well. But when you share it with people, share the love. Because if anyone sends me something, I subscribe and share the love. You've got to turn around and tell that other person to share the love as well. So once they're subscribing, you need to tell them, yep, share that love. So bear that all in mind. And there's new shows coming up. Mr. Winston Clark was the one who was moaning, where's the new shows? Wince, they're on their way, so we haven't forgotten about you. Thanks for your support, Newton, my family as well, and family and close friends, and also Facebook Paternity. And also I've just come new on Instagram, so there's going to be on Instagram as well. And you know, the WhatsApp, I will be coming off of there. So those people on WhatsApp, you know, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to be on WhatsApp no more, right? So I'll be on other formats, and I will turn around and tell the people what formats I've left from WhatsApp to go on to. So I hope that's good information for you. But anyway, thank you for your ears, thank you for your eyes, and thank you for taking in, digesting what I've just told you. But there will be more on there. But while I'm going away now, if you have 7 inches, start digging into there, take pictures and do your research and make mullah out of what you've got. It could be small, it could be big, but you know, just go on the site, any sites, you'll see people are buying, and you know, you could sell something for maybe like 20 quid. They will obviously barter and go down lower, or you can start on the high end and go lower. But remember, always be truthful. Do not lie to nobody, because it will only affect you in the long run. So thanks for listening, and yeah, we'll be in touch.